doing? I hope you're having a good day, and if not, I hope I can make it a little better. So the big trend going around the internet at the moment is using AI to create an action figure of yourself. Sorry, what's this? I don't know what this is. Well, I want to jump on that trend, but I don't want to use AI. I do actually think there are some really good uses for AI, but making art, not one of them. And also, did you know that using AI when it's not necessary is really bad for the environment? When using AI, you're asking a computer to do some really heavy processing, which can really heat things up. That in turn needs coolant. And where do we get the coolant from? Earth's water. We are running out of Earth's water, so please think really carefully whenever you want to have a play around with AI. Well, if you want to jump on this trend too, but not damage the environment whilst doing it, why don't you join in with me? Will we have a go at making an AI doll of ourselves without the AI? So I've already done some notes and sketches about how I want my doll to look, and I think if you want to have a go at drawing or painting your own action figure doll, it might be useful. It would be awful if you finish the picture and then you're like, oh no, but I forgot my dog, or I forgot my favourite headphones. So for me, I've decided that I'm going to be doing the adulting edition of myself. Because it turns out there are lots of different editions of me that I didn't even realise until I started making notes. I've got some key phrases that it turns out I say a lot. And then, the most important thing, I noted some accessories. I don't think I'll be using all of them. As you can see, I didn't fit them all in here. But I thought it was good to write down items that represent me in my adult life. And then I'll just sort of pick the best ones later on. So here I am sketching out my action figure design. I'm using the Mont Marte A5 watercolor journal. No particular reason, that just happened to be the paper that I had closest to me, and I'm sketching using a blue Helix Oxford erasable colouring pencil. Right now I'm working out the sizes of the balloons for the phrases that my doll is going to say. Yeah, she's a talking doll. I have 3 key phrases, which it turns out I say quite a lot, and they are: number 1, vegans have made being lactose intolerant bearable. True story. If you know, you know. I'm sad, but I had a great time, which I think kind of reflects the feeling of when you've had a really good time, you're kind of sad that it's come to an end. I think it kind of is intensified if, like me, you have anxiety. But I want the people around me to know that even though I'm looking sad or I'm feeling sad now, I did have a good time in their company. And the final one is, thanks, I got it in the sale. Because as an adult, I swear, I don't have money to be spending on full price stuff anymore. Please let me know if you feel like this is you as well by leaving a comment in the comment section below. Next, I'm drawing out the items that are important to me in my adult life. And of course, I had to start with my darling little cat, Norma. Next is toilet roll. As an adult woman, I have realised how important it is to be carrying spare tissues with you wherever you go, especially if you need the toilet or bathroom. It is doubly important to me as I am my mother's full-time carer. You always have to be prepared. After that, it's a cup of tea, because as an adult, I have grown to really appreciate tea. After that, I drew a book. I don't know if it's going to be an art book, a notebook, a fiction book, a comic book yet. I have to decide on that. So many different books are meaningful to me as an adult, but I knew I had to include them in one form or another. After that, I've drawn a frying pan because I do all the cooking. It's another representation of my life as a full-time carer, but also that I really like cooking. And on the other end of the technology spectrum, that oblong is going to be my smartphone, which I also want to double up as a music player because music is so important to me too. And finally, it's a little game piece or a pawn. I want that to represent the fact that I'm a gamer. I like computer games and board games. I didn't have space to draw in my Switch or a console controller, so I thought a little board game token would represent that. There were still so many items that represent adult me that I wasn't able to fit into this small space. But don't worry, I come up with a solution for that later, so please keep watching. And now I'm going in with my gouache. Once again, it's Mont Marte brand, which as far as gouache goes is an introductory level brand. It's nothing fancy pants at all. But I actually find they're pretty good quality for introductory grade art supplies. I want to use them up completely before I advance to a higher grade of gouache. I'm kind of hoping that by then I will have got the hang of how to use gouache, so it won't be wasted when I spend more money on more expensive paints, if that makes sense. This, however, is only my third time of using gouache, and I think it shows as I do make some rather rookie mistakes, but you know what? The only way you learn is to make mistakes, am I right? And I do think the basic quality of the gouache does hinder me a little bit when I put the flat colours down. I feel like the painting stayed in the ugly stage for a really long time because I was getting a little bit frustrated. I think that's because the gouache was maybe a little bit thick for me. I'm a watercolor artist, so I'm used to paints being really thin, really fluid. I was amazed at how much white is required to lighten up the paint. I'll never understand why when people put together art kits, they include a regular size white. It seems kind of cruel. I think they should be including a white that's the same size as all the other paints put together, because later today I'm going to have to go out and get another white to replace this one. But I really wanted to use gouache to recreate myself as an action figure. As compared to watercolors, its opacity and brightness and simplicity just has that cheerful toy characteristics that I really wanted to feed into this painting. As you can see, my action figure is a cutesy doll. There's nothing really He-Man about her. There's nothing really Barbie about her. And I just feel like gouache recreates that innocence of wooden dolls or peg dolls perfectly. And whilst we're talking about my doll, you can see what she's wearing. That is actually what I am wearing right now. It is one of my favorite outfits. As an adult, I have realized how much I love loose-fitting clothing. The jumper she's wearing, I actually knitted myself, so no, I did not buy it in the sale, though I probably did buy the yarn used to knit it in the sale. And the trousers, they're big and baggy and airy. They probably were bought in the sale. And let's not even talk about the lack of shoes. I love going around barefoot. Glasses, those glasses were not bought in the sale. Okay, so at this point, I was done with this painting. I just hated it. The ugly phase had lasted too long. It felt frustrating. It felt blotchy. I was embarrassed with myself thinking I could create something pretty when I'd only ever used gouache 2 times before. So I took a step away. I had a cup of tea. I had a breather. I let my phone charge. I gathered myself and I started to put the shading in. And you know what? When you get to that ugly stage in a painting, keep fighting through it, okay? Because finally I could start to see the painting coming together. And on that thought, I would love to know how you guys survive the ugly stage of any piece of art. So if you could leave your stories, your tips, your suggestions in the comment section below for me to read and for others to read, that would be amazing. We are going to get through the ugly stage of this piece of art and every piece of art together. And here I am adding the shading of what will be the plastic wrap, the plastic coating over my toy packaging. And I think it was at this point I kind of could see the painting returning to how I imagined it would look in my mind's eye. And it was this point I had faith that everything was going to be all right. Okay, so I don't know about you, but I think adding the white here really made it look like my character was in plastic wrap. It's surprising how such a little detail could really bring everything together. So now I'm adding the text using a Sakura Micron fine liner in black because I did not trust myself to paint anything that small. In retrospect, I probably could have painted the Rachel instead of using the pen, but that's something to try for next time. Hindsight is 2020, as they say. Finally, I can show you the get around I did to not being able to include items that represented every aspect of my life. I figured adulting Rachel would not be the only doll in the range, so I listed some other dolls that you'd be able to buy. They include Artist Rachel, Travel Rachel, Romany Rachel, and Psycho Killer Rachel. Because I love horror movies, I really wanted to include something horror in this design, but it was also cute and I thought something horror would really ruin the aesthetic. A little nod there in the text I think is just enough, and if anybody doesn't know me and they see it, it'll be like a little Easter egg for them. What do you think? What would the other dolls be in your range? And here is my final painting, and I am so proud of it. And you know what? I think I'm proud of it because I did have to struggle to create it. Yes, if I had used AI, it would have been done in an instant, and it would have looked, in inverted commas, perfect. But what would I have learned from the process? Because I can tell you, I learned so much by doing this the hard way. I learned what kind of qualities I like in gouache paint. I learned new ways to use gouache paint, and I'm pretty certain my skills at using gouache have improved by doing another painting with them. Most importantly, I've learned that I can work through a struggle and achieve something. I am capable. I would never have learned any of these things if I had let the computer do all the hard work for me. I really do encourage you to have a go at drawing or painting your own action figure if you do want to have a go at jumping on the action figure trend. Leave AI at the side and challenge yourself. And if you do have a go at drawing or painting your own, inspired by this video, please do at me at Enchanted Violin, because I would love to see what yours look like. Well, thank you for making it to the end of the video with me. I'd love to know what your favourite part was. If you could leave a comment in the comment section below. If you could like, subscribe, turn on all notifications and share this video, that would be amazing. You can follow me at Enchanted Violin on Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky and Threads. Links will be in the description box below, as well as links to my online comics, my Patreon and more. And I'll see you next time where I do some more art. Completely Rachel generated. I'll see you then. Bye!